Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of our Litter Media Live Game of the Week pregame show. I'm your host, Mike Smith, and we are here for another week of high school basketball in our area as we will be traveling back up to the Mid-State League Buckeye, as you just saw there on the graphic, with the Circleville Tigers taking on the Teays Valley Vikings. It's our second trip to Asheville in about 3 weeks, but had a good one up there with Liberty Union a few weeks back, and this will be a key matchup as far as play in the Mid-State League Buckeye. We'll talk more about both teams as well as hear from both coaches, and also during the program announce our Litter Media Game of the Week information concerning our Athlete of the Week, brought to you by Neil Coleman and Wyandotte Insurance. All that is coming up next here on our Litter Media Radio pregame show.
At Country Clipper, pride runs deep. We take pride in knowing our mowers help create a space for families to make memories. That our features transform mowing into an enjoyable experience. Most importantly, we take pride in knowing the decision to purchase a Country Clipper will be one you can be proud of for years to come. Country Clipper zero-turn mowers.
If you can't give true love to me, I'll understand.
It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Michelob Ultra.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing, download the Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
At Rathkamp Financial, we act as your advocate in all wealth matters. We believe in long-term relationships and working to earn your continued trust with our customized investment solutions. Our greatest satisfaction comes from working with clients for many years and helping them realize their dreams.
We're back on the Litter Media Radio Game of the Week pregame show. First of all, we're going to be hearing about the Teays Valley Vikings. Before we get to Coach Brian Barnett, who Dan Ramey interviewed earlier this week. Reminder that the Vikings come into this matchup with a 3-0 MSL record. They're 4-1 overall. Their only loss came to Olentangy, a non-conference defeat, a game that they led the entire way and got beat on a last-second shot. Their conference victories have been quality wins. They beat Bloom Carroll and Fairfield Union, two teams along with Circleville that many picked in the preseason as favorites to win the league. Of course, they haven't played Circleville yet, but also beat a tough Liberty Union club. Dan Ramey again spoke with Teays Valley Vikings coach Brian Barnett earlier this week and found out what's the latest on the Vikings.
Joined now by Brian Barnett, head basketball coach of the Teays Valley Vikings. And Coach, your team has had a nice start to the season so far, getting ready to take on Circleville. We saw you in your home opener with Liberty Union. How have things changed over the last couple of weeks for your club?
And first of all, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. And, I think over the last, last time you saw us, a couple things have changed. I think our guys are starting to buy in a little bit more. I think we're starting to play a little bit harder. But most importantly, I think we're starting to play together more. If you can get the buy-in from all the guys, from number one all the way down to our 13th, 14th, 15th guy, that's what you need to have. And in order to be successful as a program, that has to happen. And, I think our top guys are kind of leading the charge on that, with Sam and Cole and Brody. Those guys are doing a good job of kind of pulling everybody together and in the right direction.
We talked for the first time last year about this freshman backcourt that you have, and now they're sophomores. They really seem to get things going.
Absolutely. We rely on Cole to do a lot of things for us. I mean, he's the one that's handling the basketball the majority of the time. He's the one that has to bring the ball up against all the pressure, and then he has to, get us going on the offensive end. And then night in and night out, we're starting to ask him to score more. So we're starting to put more and more on his plate, and give that young man credit. He's talented enough, he's smart enough to actually do all that for us.
Circleville, how do you match up with this group? I saw them the same night I saw you play Liberty Union, and they had Amanda Clear Creek that night. They put everything together for that contest, but they have had back-to-back losses, one a buzzer beater, and you know all about those buzzer beaters.
I know the buzzer beaters are rough. When we talk about Circleville, we talk about a talented team coming in. They return a lot of guys over from last year's team. And, you take a look at some of their players with Kramer and Serge especially are the two that you kind of got to focus on. And, I think both teams kind of match up pretty well against each other. I think, each team has some positives and some things that kind of work for them. And each team has some things that they need to make adjustments for.
What do you think you need to have happen to go your way, to come away with a win? I mean, do you have to slow down the tempo? Do you have to just kind of throw Circleville out of what they want to do?
Well, I don't think we want to slow down our tempo. I think we want to speed that thing up as fast as we can get our engines running. I think, in order for us to be successful, if we can get out into transition, that's when we play our best basketball. I think our guys are unselfish. I think they look for one another in transition. And, I think that's going to be a big key for us on Friday night. In order to get out into transition, as you know, you have to guard. You have to play good defense. You have to rebound the basketball. And then you have to get it and go. You can't just, throw it and dribble it up and walk it up the floor. So, our defensive effort on the defensive end has to be outstanding on Friday night. If it's not, it could pose a lot of problems for us.
And let alone throw all the rules of basketball out. It's Circleville, Teays Valley. That says enough right there, doesn't it?
That says enough right there. There's a lot of history right there, and a lot of a lot of games being played. And anytime we talk to our kids about this all the time. I don't care whether you're 5-0 or 6-0 or 0-6. When these two teams play, it's always a great game.
And we're looking forward to it. That's our Litter Media Game of the Week. Ryan Barnett, thank you for your time today, and we'll see you Friday.
That sounds good. Looking forward to having you down in the gymnasium, and can't wait for Friday night.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
You haven't had vodka soda like this. No one has. Made with the world's smoothest vodka plus real juice. New White Claw Vodka Soda.
If you're just joining us, you're watching the Litter Media Radio Game of the Week pregame show on Facebook Live. Of course, the play-by-play broadcast will be heard on Litter Media Radio, and we'll tell you a little bit more later on how you can get that if you've not been able to tune in to us in our previous football games during the fall and our first two basketball games of the season. Before we get to Dan Ramey's interview with Circleville coach Cody Carpenter, just some of this I'm sure Cody will talk about, but Circleville got off to a 3-0 start this year with wins over Zane Trace at Southeastern and Amanda Clear Creek. But then they were beaten by arch rival Logan Elm 35-31 and then dropped the heartbreaker to Hamilton Township 57-56. So literally 5 points, only 5 points separates the Tigers from being an undefeated team right now. They hope to right that ship. Here's what Dan Ramey found out from head coach Cody Carpenter in their visit this week.
Good to have with us Cody Carpenter. He is the head coach of the Circleville basketball Tigers, getting ready to take on the Teays Valley Vikings this Friday night in our Intermediate game of the week. And Cody, you guys are just above 500, a 3-2 start to your season so far. What have you learned about your kids up to this point, this early in the season?
First off, I appreciate you guys having me. The one thing I've learned is, we're resilient. Right now, we're kind of playing in runs, whether we're giving up runs or we're making runs. But we've had some situations where we've gotten down by, double digits. I think as many as maybe 15. And we've found ways to fight back and be in the game. So, our kids are resilient. Obviously, this early in the season, there's a lot of things we still have to continue to work on. We're not quite where we want to be. The kids, they're really coming together as a team, which is exactly what you want. We're not playing our best basketball yet, but we'll get there.
One of the things that I'm sure you'd like to have rectified is getting some league wins, and you've stumbled there. But outside of that, you've had some nice wins over some non-conference opponents.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we want to have success in all areas, but we one of our goals is to compete for a league championship, and we've had our last 2 games just been a couple difficult ones, whether it's the way we played or just our last game this past Saturday, we got beat by a last-second 3, at the buzzer to lose by 1. So. Some heartbreaking losses, but we'll learn from it.
I've often heard coaches say, guys, give me just one chance, one possession towards the end of a game. And you don't want to be on the other side of that, like you experienced over the weekend.
Sure. Yeah. And unfortunately, I was on that side last year at home against Logan Elm. Last second 3, ended up beating us as well. I think I'd rather get beat by 30 than lose that way. It hurts a lot worse, but it's definitely something that we can learn from, move forward.
What do we call these character building moments when you have those tight, close ones? But it makes you also pay attention to the little things.
Absolutely. And that's what we told our kids. It wasn't that one possession that cost us. It was all the small possessions that build up. But, we tell our guys that every possession matters because it could come down to that last possession. So the possession that you have, the third possession in the first quarter is just as important. So, we try to play one possession at a time, one quarter at a time, one game at a time, and go from there.
This is what year for you with the program?
Year 5.
Year 5. Okay. So
yeah.
You've had the opportunity to see some kids cycle through with your program. Are they catching on to what you want to implement here for the Tiger basketball program?
Yeah, I believe so. We have some really good coaches all the way up, working with our biddy program and our middle school. And we're finally to a point where each level has had success, at the middle school and the elementary level, and the culture that we're wanting to build and for these kids and the program. And we're getting the community excited again. And, like I said, we had a couple slip ups here, but we have high expectations for this team. And I think the school does too. So, we're excited. We're going to stay on track and keep moving forward.
I mentioned before we started the interview that I snuck in for your Amanda Clear Creek game. And by the time I got there, the game was pretty much in hand. But your kids seem to know how to handle themselves, even in a large victory like what you had there.
Well, we have kids that we're actually still pretty young. The light went off on me.
Not enough movement in the office.
Yeah. So, we have kids that we have 3 seniors that have played for 3 and 4 years. We're actually still kind of young. We're starting 2 sophomores, but we're bringing, 2 sophomores and even a freshman off the bench. but it's kids that understand expectation and know how to compete. We have great senior leadership, and that helps with some of the younger kids as well. So we've tried to tell them to act like you have won before, and how you handle winning, and then how you handle adversity as well. So, but that's something that even I'm still trying to learn, with my age as a coach, more how to handle that adversity than anything else. But that's sports.
It is. You learn something every time you get out there. You talk about the senior leadership that you have on this basketball club. Who are those individuals that you count on a game night?
Yeah, we have our big man Slater Search. He's been up at the varsity level for about 2.5 years. Briley Kramer, who's one of the top scorers in the area. He's started for me for 4 years since he was a freshman, and then Preston Holtz. He's been kind of back and forth. He floated some his freshman and sophomore year, and we really lean on those guys. Not only their leadership by example is there. They're really good kids. They do well in school. They do well in the community. Being that vocal leader is something that they're continue to work on and grow. And it's a hard spot to be in, but if we want to reach the potential that we think we can, we rely on those guys to be those leaders for us.
You've got Teays Valley up next. This is a Pickaway County rivalry. Forget about mid-state league stuff. It's your neighbors. Yeah. And it's like that with Logan Elm and the rest of them too, I'm sure. But in this instance in particular, how do you match up with this ball club who lost a good number of seniors last year, but they've got some youngins who are sophomores now that had a lot of floor time last year as freshmen?
Yeah, I mean, they're the best team in the league right now. They won the league last year, so and they relied a lot on those two sophomores when they were freshmen last year. So those kids know how to win. I think that's the biggest difference between them and us, is our kids are still learning how to win at the varsity level. And they do. So I think that's the biggest difference. Matchup wise, I think we match up really well. They're tall and long, and we have a lot of length and height to us, and seasoned veterans and guys that can score. It's just going to come down to, we have to limit our mistakes. We have to understand that they're going to make a run, and we got to weather the storm. And we just have to go in with some confidence and play to win, not play not to lose.
And playing on the road can be a completely different situation. If you're used to playing at home, it's one thing, but you go into a different arena, and sometimes the atmosphere changes for you.
Absolutely. And the way we schedule our scrimmages, we make sure all of our scrimmages are on the road. I mean, you're supposed to take care of home. You practice there every day, home crowd, but you have to learn to win on the road. So that's why we schedule those away scrimmages, so our kids get comfortable with being uncomfortable. As a competitor, you like going into those road games with a big crowd and student sections constantly yelling at you. Those are the type of games that you want to be in, and the goal is to quiet the crowd and, play our game, and hopefully we can come out with some success.
And let's be honest, everybody's last handful of games when you win a state championship, those are all on the road. You may as well.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to think big, even this early in the season.
That's right.
Coach, thank you for your time. Good luck to you, and we'll see you at the ball game.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When insuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
If you can't give true love to me, I'll understand. Just
It's only worth it if you Michelob Ultra.
Each week, Litter Media presents the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Player of the Week. If you have an athlete to nominate, any amateur athlete is eligible. Simply visit littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. At the end of the year, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Make your nominations now at littermedia.com. Click on Player of the Week.
And that leads us right into our next segment, the Athlete of the Week. And congratulations goes out to Unioto sophomore Miley Smith. This kid has had an incredible start, even last year as a freshman. But this year, as a sophomore, through 9 games, Miley is averaging 17.6, almost 18 points a game, 7 rebounds a game, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 2 block shots per game. Unioto is out to a 5-0 SVC start and 8-1 overall. Their lone loss was Division I Huber Heights Wayne over near Dayton earlier this season. But again, Miley Smith of Unioto is our Neil Coleman Wyandotte Mutual Insurance Player of the Week. And as I think Dan was just sharing with you just a little bit ago, in order to nominate a player, you simply go to our website at littermedia.com and look for the Player of the Week link on the nav bar. Now, next week, we will not have a pregame show on Thursday at this time because we are not doing a game on Friday, December the 29th. We're taking that night off for the break. Also, Ohio State's playing in the Cotton Bowl that night, so a lot of attention will be placed on that. But we will have an Athlete of the Week that we will announce next Thursday during our 11 a.m. Daily Topics program. And, of course, all of those, that'll complete the weekly winners that we've had in calendar year 2023. And then at the first of the year, we'll be announcing who our Athlete of the Year honor will be going to based on all of those people that were nominated and one Athlete of the Week. But again, Miley Smith of Unioto, our weekly winner. When we come back, we'll wrap things up with a look at some other games that are taking place on Friday night, all coming up here on the Litter Media Radio pregame of the week.
Kingston National Bank was founded in 1909 by local businessmen. The concept of a local bank supporting our community's financial needs with local decisions made sense. This is Phil Evans, President and CEO of Kingston National Bank. I invite you to make KNB your bank. We continue to make local decisions that benefit our communities. Experience innovative products and excellent customer service. When you need us most, you can count on KNB. Our community, your bank. Kingston National Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Whenever I first applied for the Archways opportunity, oh, do I have to pay this back? Do I have to do that? Like, is it a loan? And it's not. It's a scholarship. A goal of mine is to graduate college debt-free. If you're a crew member, you get $2,500 a year, and if you're a manager, you get $3,000. And especially if you're going locally to college, like to the branch or something like that, it's really helpful.
At Rathkamp Financial, we offer customized investment solutions and superior client service. We believe in long-term relationships and working to earn your continued trust. Our greatest satisfaction comes from working with clients for many years and helping them realize their dreams.
Now that's one fast mower. Take command of your lawn with Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest lawnmower.
All right, back with a wrap-up here on our Litter Media Radio Game of the Week pre-game show. Some other games that are being played on Friday night. This is an SVC girls' night, so if there are any SVC boys teams playing Friday, it's non-conference. It's league night for the girls. And probably the biggest matchup is the two conference unbeatens, Adena hosting Unioto. Both of those teams are 5-0 in the SVC. A little bit of an insight to that ball game, kind of a bad news note for the Lady Warriors of Adena. At last check, it looked like Their leading scorer, Emma Garrison, will not be available for that game. She has a back injury that may keep her out for a number of weeks. At least that is the last word on that. But that will be out at Frankfort. Also in SVC girls basketball on Friday night, and again, you can see these games all going across our scroller at the top of the screen. Huntington will be at Southeastern, Paint Valley at Westfall, and Zane Trace girls will be at Piketon. As far as going back to boys basketball in the Mid-State League, other than our Game of the Week feature, Circleville at Teays Valley. Other action will involve Bloom Carroll. We'll get that up here in just a minute because at the moment I forgot who they're playing. But again, Teays Valley has played both Bloom Carroll and also Fairfield Union. Logan Elm is at Bloom Carroll. Hamilton Township will be at Fairfield Union. Hamilton was one of the teams we mentioned that had beaten Circleville earlier this year by a single point. And Amanda Clear Creek will be at Liberty Union. As we saw in our broadcast with Teays Valley Liberty Union a couple of weeks back, Liberty's a tough team. They finally got their first win of the season, but they are very capable of getting a number of wins this year. Western is also at Wheelersburg and Northwest at Waverly in SOC play. Each night, including tonight, you can go to our littermedia.com website and get all of the scores as far as final scores once everything is complete. We try to give you a little bit of an update as well on our Litter X, formerly known as Twitter page, to get you caught up on maybe some updates, maybe individual conference or single game final scores, but then the entire list, so you don't have to thumbnail all the way down through the X page. You can go to our website at littermedia.com. Again, that'll wrap things up. Tom Beard and I will be on the air on Friday night, somewhere in the neighborhood of 7:20, 7:30, depending on the length of the freshman and JV games for our Litter Media Radio Game of the Week, Circleville at Teays Valley. So join us for that. Until that time, for Dan Ramey and our producer Aaron Glandon, this is Mike Smith saying so long from all of us at Litter Media. We'll see you at the ball game come Friday night.